This video will give you some basic tips on adding page numbers to your thesis or any other paper that you need to work on. The first thing you want to do is make sure that your sections are all separated by a hard return rather than soft returns. What I mean is, here you can see I have my dedication acknowledgments on the same page. Rather than pressing enter several times like this to get to a new page, I can press Control Enter and it will automatically put it at a new page and separate them properly. That way, if I add any text in later, it will keep them properly separated at the top of the page for the new sections. Now, I want my page numbers to begin with page 1 in lowercase Roman numerals on the dedication page, and then go to page 2 and page 3 through the acknowledgments and table of contents with the same Roman numeral lowercase. Now, I'm going to use lowercase Roman numeral in the center on the lower part of the page, at the bottom of the page, for all 3 of these pages. So I'm going to consider this to be one section. But in the subsequent sections, so chapter 2 and following, we will put the first page number at the bottom of the page and subsequent numbers at the top right-hand part of the page. Now, to set all this up, what we want to do is find your sections that you want. So the first one is starting with the dedication, acknowledgments, table of contents. Then go under Layout, Breaks, and I want to pick Continuous Section Break. The reason I want the continuous section break is because it will continue numbering pages in order from chapter to chapter unless I tell it to do otherwise, and you'll see how that works. So I want the acknowledgments and table of contents to be the same section. Chapter 1 is going to be a new section, so I'm going to click at the very top and then say Break Continuous again. Now, I had in my thesis a whole nother part that I was working on, so I have this part here. Now, I don't want to put the cursor here and say to do a new break. I want to put it right up at the top of the page on the very first line. The reason for that is because the page breaks won't be recognized as a new page break in the middle of a page as far as page numbering goes. So I have it at the very top, and I can just move my cursor back and forth to make sure I'm really at the very first spot, and then say break continuous. And then I only have one more chapter in here for now, and so I'm going to go to chapter 2, break continuous. And now that we are ready to start working with the headers and footers. So go to the first section. Once you've put all your continuous breaks in, the first section I'm going to work with, which was at the dedication just after the title page, because the title page does not get numbered. Double click in the header section, header area. And now what we want to do is go through, and you see how it says same as previous right over here? I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to scroll down. There's another one, so I'm going to click in the footer area, turn off link to previous. And then each section will also say link to previous. So I'm going to turn off each one of those sections in both the header and the footer. Once I have turned off all the link to previous sections, I want, as I said, I want the dedication and introductory pages to be in the footer in the middle. So I'm going to come under, again, in the header footer section here, I'm going to come under page number. And at the bottom of the page, I want to put in a plain number centered right there. Now you'll see there's 2 problems. One, it's an Arabic numeral, not a Roman numeral. And second, it's starting at 2 and not 1. But if we go back under the page number dropdown, say Format Page Number, we can change to the lowercase Roman numeral here. And then at the start at, we just tell it to start at page 1. And now you'll see that we've got Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2, Roman numeral 3, all at the bottom of the page. We have nothing yet in chapter 1 because we did not tell it to turn any, we've separated the sections, so it will not recognize any new numbers here yet. Now, if you click in the top header section here, go up to the header footer ribbon and say different first page. That way you can put the first page at the bottom, and again, page number, bottom of the page, centered. You'll see it starts with 4. So again, we want to go back, say Format Page Numbers, and change, it's already going to be on the proper Arabic numerals, but start at page 1. And now we're starting on page 1. Go to the header of page 2, because you'll see that since it's a different first page, we don't have any number on page 2 and subsequent pages. And tell it that you want to, for the page number, go to the top of the page and do a plain number in the upper right-hand corner. Now we have page 2 here. You'll see we have page 3. But on the next page where I have a sort of filler page for the next part of my thesis, there's no page number yet. I don't want a page number on this page. However, I want the page numbers to continue as if this was page 4. So that's why I made it a separate section here. And now we've gotten into section 5. And I can click in the top. And again, I'm going to say different first page so that the first page will be in the lower. And you'll see it's turned on already. If it wasn't, you could just go into the page numbers and put it in. But I'm going to go to the top and the next page in the header. Tell it to put at the top of the page, upper right hand corner. There's page 6, and now my page numbers are all set up all the way to the end of the paper. If I had more chapters or the bibliography or other filler pages, you would basically use these same techniques to get those page numbers in. But now you can see when you go back to the top and you double click back in your document, all the page numbers are showing up just like you want them to. I hope this helps.